Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited to be looking at Hot Toys Darth Sidious. This is one of my most anticipated Star Wars figures. This character is one of my favorites. The actor Ian McDiarmid plays the part to perfection. So let's jump in and take a look at the figure. Here we have an image of him fighting Darth Maul. Now, if you are not familiar with this iteration of Sidious or Palpatine, this is from a single episode in the animated series, The Clone Wars. And it's where he goes to Mandalore and confronts and duels both Maul and his brother Savage Opress. And it's quite a fight they have. So let's see what we have in the box. I've already taken the cover off and all the wrappings and so forth to make it easy. Up front we've got some hands, and they've got two hands with the Force lightning, and this is a big improvement over the previous version where you'd have to slip the Force lightning onto the hand. So in my opinion, this is a really big improvement. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks on the figure. We have two resting hands, left and right, here. And then we have two hands for the right hand. Look like they would be used maybe for grasping a lightsaber hilt. I'm surprised that we just got these two for the right hand and we didn't get a left and right hand. So that's a little bit surprising, but anyway, we've got the tool for adjusting his eyes if you want to. I usually don't do that for fear he'll end up cross-eyed. We've got two hilts, non-powered hilts that you could slip the blades in. And then we've got two USB powered hilts. And then we've got the little power box. We've got the attachment for attaching it to the U-stand. The clip for clipping him on the back. The swoosh blades, and then the regular blades. See, before I get to the figure, I'll also take a look at, he does come with a stand other than your average stand. We've seen this one before. I would use it if it didn't have that label on it. I don't know why they put labels on these things, or they should at least make them so you can take them off. So there's that. So the figure itself, he's got this robe on with this very stiff and elaborate fabric. It's wired down the front and along the bottom. It has an integral hood on it, and then he's got this mantle on top. And then underneath, he's got this very generous pleated skirt and a cumberbund. So, and his black outfit underneath continues up under the robe and with this high collar. This does not come off. This clasp, what looks like a clasp, is glued on, and then the robe is sewn at the top. So The other thing is, like I said, he's got a very generous skirt, so it'd be easy if you're into doing action poses. You shouldn't have any trouble. There's no slit up the back of his skirt, so whether you use this U-stand or another one, it's going to slip up under his robe, which means this little clip is useless. Now there is a way around. If you remove the U wire and put a waist grabber on it, then you can use the post to clip the USB power pack on. So let's take a look at the head. Excellent head sculpt. He looks really great. I think the prototype, if I'm not mistaken, when they first announced it, he had a much more pronounced grin on his face, which I didn't like. So I'm glad, if memory serves me correct, but I think this one looks really, really good. The one thing I don't like is there's this zigzag seam here, and that's because this part comes off, so you can adjust his eyes if you're into doing that. So that's the basics. Now let's put him together and see how wonderful he looks. So here is Sidious posed with his lightsabers. A few things of note about the outfit is his black mantle, like the robe, is wired along the front and the bottom, so you will have to shape that to match your pose. The hood, there's ample material, and between the stiffness of the material and the wiring on the front, it should be very easy for you to shape it. And the other nice thing about the hood is, under normal lighting, most of the face is going to appear in shadows, which would be screen accurate. One thing about the outfit that did give me a little bit of trouble was his sleeves. It came packaged with all the material pushed up straight, and in order to get it to puff out above the cuffs, it took considerable amount of fussing with the material. There is one drawback with his outfit, and that is his robe is incredibly tight where the sleeve meets the body, and the arms have considerable movement up and down, but back and forth not much, and I can only attribute it because of how tight the outfit is. So the lightsabers, the instruction sheet does not show you how to install the USB lightsabers, and going on YouTube, I couldn't see where anybody else had done that either. However, it's actually pretty easy. By the time I figured out how to do it, I was kicking myself. It was so easy that it didn't occur to me to begin with. The instructions, instead of explaining it, I've got it written down in the description of the video. And in a minute here, I will turn off the light so you can see how bright the USB lightsabers are under normal lighting. So let's see. So there you have them. Sidious with his lightsabers, and in a minute I'll show you a couple of other poses. So here is Sidious in an easy museum pose. One thing I noticed about Palpatine is every time he's in Sith mode, unless he's using his hands for a specific reason, he always held them in front of him like this. I guess so he would be at a split second he could do something with them with, you know, force push or force lightning. So here's an easy pose, and I'll turn this around so you can see what it looks like in the back. The hood is sewn on the bottom here, but still we have ample material to get a decent hood on them. So there's that pose. And now let's take a look at him with his force lightning. So here he is with his force lightning. I tried to go for a more dynamic pose as much as I can get with these U-stands I use. I tried to go with one arm extended out straight and the other one kind of pulled back at the elbow. But because of how tight his robe is and the limitations at the shoulders, that's the best I can do. I also tried to shape his robe so one side is blown open wider than the other, and you can see there's this like nice purplish brown suede material that lines the inside of his robe. But anyway, there he is, Grandpa Sith. This has become one of my new favorite figures. I really like it. There you go. I would highly recommend this figure. Even though he is from the Clone Wars and some people don't collect it from that animated series, they did a good job of making a real life or a lifelike figure out of it, and I think he looks great, and I hope we get more Palpatine figures in the future. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd love to read your comments. Thank you.